Less than 3 months after being traded from the Bulls to the Knicks, Derrick Rose took part in his first practice with his new team. After the practice, he was asked what his role on the team will be. He said, "My job is to come here and help Carmelo Anthony win. This is his team. In practice, to push him, be on him. When I see that he's being lazy or something like that, and it's vice versa, he's going to be on me when he needs to push me. It's no bad blood. I'm just here to help him win." Westgate has the Knicks winning 40.5 games this season. Max, I want to start with you.
Yep.
How will the Knicks fare this season?
I'm taking the under on 40.5 games. I know they're in a weaker conference. I mean, certainly at the top level, there aren't a bunch of top-level teams like there is in the West. I suppose in the West there's one top-level team followed by a bunch of other-level teams. But and the Knicks have an excellent starting five. I look at the starting five. Derrick Rose, another year away from catastrophic injury, has to think more like a pure point guard on playing on a team with Carmelo. I love the Courtney Lee signing, maybe not 3 years from now, but right now doesn't need the ball, threes and Ds, all that. Carmelo's still excellent. Porzingis should take a step forward, really good. Joakim Noah, when he's on the floor and in the locker room, will be a positive influence. But they're a very thin team. They really don't have a bench, Stephen A. And that's significant for them because given, like, the reason Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah are Knicks now instead of Chicago Bulls is because of their injury history. If they weren't injury prone, they wouldn't be on the Knicks right now. That's two guys. Porzingis at 7'3". You always have to worry about that, particularly, you know, in the second and third year. How is his body going to respond to long, grinding, grueling NBA seasons? Really tall guys like that. The Lakers' philosophy has always been they dominate the big man market, but they wait. Someone else drafts them. They wait, see who through attrition still standing, then they go after that guy. Porzingis, the Knicks are going to have to see if he can stand up to it. And Carmelo's in decline. I mean, he's still an excellent player, but he's not what he was a couple of years ago. So the starting five has injury issues. They're not all in their primes together, and they got no bench. My heart says, boy, that starting five, if everything works out just right, and Hornacek's the kind of guy who's shown he can work with what he's got. No matter what it is, he can make, you know, lemonade out of lemons, and these are better than lemons. My heart says, boy, they can go way over. But my head says the reality is, if you're asking me 45.5 games over, under, I'll take the under on the Knicks.
I would say to you, I would take 45. It's 45.
40.5 games.
I would say to you, I'm taking over. I think the Knicks will win about 45 games this year. That's what I've got them because I think in the game of basketball, the way the game is called, the absence of physicality compared to what used to exist back in the day, I think that helps a team that's relatively thin. That's number one. Number two, to answer the question directly, I love Derrick Rose's approach because that's where I'm going with this. Look. Carmelo Anthony, I came on national television and apologized because I hadn't spoken to him during the Olympics, and I took that quote about, you know, the gold medal being more important. That's my man. We've communicated. I had access to him. I should have called him first before I said that. But it does not change where I stand. Carmelo Anthony, I consider to be one of the top offensive players of this generation. And if you have the supplementary parts around him that can do, it's not just Derrick Rose, but you got a quality reserve in Brandon Jennings coming off the bench, okay?
Off a knee surgery,
I'm
too.
looking at the Edmondsons, rather, the Lance Thomases of the world, people like that can come off the bench to spell for these guys. So when I make a prediction, I'm assuming guys are going to be healthy because obviously they get hurt. It's not going to do it. If Porzingis and Derrick Rose are healthy, you got three scorers, not just one. Joakim Noah and Energizer Bunny, who can defend and rebound. Courtney Lee, who's that guy that can fill in various parts because he's a legit 6'4", can play the off-guard position, etc. The reason why I love what Derrick Rose had to say is because my position about Carmelo Anthony has not changed. I am sick and tired of a guy that I consider to be one of the top offensive players of this generation, either being home watching the playoffs like me or going in the first round. It is no longer acceptable. The honeymoon is over. This guy is a superstar offensive player. Not a superstar all-around player, because we know Carmelo Anthony's not great defensively. But offensively, at 6'8", who can score anywhere.
The honeymoon is over. The marriage has been over. He's done a second marriage, a third marriage already.
I'm talking about the Knicks. I'm talking about his time with the Knicks. Enough is enough. I love what Derrick Rose has said, because what Derrick Rose essentially is saying on behalf of the rest of the Knicks is that if we do our job, we got the dude to give the ball to take us there. So what I'm expecting from Carmelo Anthony is that the New York Knicks have other guys that are doing their jobs. And it's tight. And the fourth quarter comes. And Max, Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah and Courtney Lee and those boys say, here you go. what you gonna do? And I expect Carmelo Anthony to step up and do it. Anything
You're a Knicks
less
fan?
than of course I am.
Okay, if you're a Knicks fan, you should be hoping that by the end of the season, Carmelo's not even the best player on the team. You got to be hoping that Porzingis is better than Carmelo by the end of the season.
I don't need that because he's a second-year player. I'm not going to ask him for too much. I don't give a damn how good he is. Carmelo Anthony is one of the top offensive players of this generation, and my expectation is what it is. I ain't apologizing for it to nobody. The New York Knicks should get to the semifinals if Melo is Melo and the other players
and they're not hurt, and guys with injury histories don't get hurt.
I'm not refuting that. I'm with you. We'll all be courtside.
I'm with Max if they get injured. I'm only talking if they're healthy.
We got to go to break.
Hope they stay healthy. I want to see it.
Molly, I'm hurting. I'm tired of the Knicks. I'm just tired of them losing.
You another gold medal. That's comfortable.
Yeah. Carmelo's going to get another gold medal to make it up to you.
We're going to break.